What is the secret to making great fried chicken? I'm the corporate executive chef behind Rooster Republic, a fried chicken restaurant located in Southern California. As of December 2017, it sits as one of the top-ranked fried chicken restaurant in Orange County, California. 1. Let's get this out of the way, I'm not handing over our secret recipe that we use at our restaurant. I would get in a lot of trouble for that. What I can do is share with you a few secrets that will yield fried chicken very similar to what you would get in our restaurant. If your idea of perfect fried chicken involves an unbelievable crispy crust that gives way to juicy mouthfuls of tender seasoned meat, keep reading. Here are 8 secrets to improve your fried chicken game. When you're frying chicken, bigger is not better. Seek out the smallest chicken you can find. Somewhere between a 2.5–3.5 pound bird. Buy it already cut or have it cut into 8 pieces. That's 2 breasts, 2 thighs, 2 legs and 2 wings if you're keeping track. Buying it pre-cut will save you some time. If you're stuck with a larger bird in the 5–6 pounds range, just split your breast pieces diagonally into 2 pieces. Fried chicken lovers know that the best part of fried chicken is the skin. Smaller birds benefit you 2 ways. First, you're going to get a better skin-to-meat ratio on a smaller bird than you would on a larger bird. That means more crunchy skin and crust for all. Second, smaller birds cook faster. This will minimize chances of overcooking the outside of the chicken before the chicken is cooked through on the inside or vice versa. A final note here, don't feel obligated to spring for a brand name or free-range chicken. Fried chicken is a humble dish and I like to keep it that way. This will not be quick. Look at the clock. If you're about to head to the grocery store thinking you'll make this for dinner tonight, it's not enough time. Fried chicken is rightfully time-consuming. Only those who are willing and patient deserve to be rewarded with properly fried chicken. Rushing it will just feel like bad sex. Still good, but it could be and should be so much better. Allow yourself at least 8 hours to brine the chicken. If your fried chicken recipe doesn't account for brining time, swipe left. Luckily, the time needed for brining your chicken pieces is completely passive. Start the brine in the morning or do it the night before. Do this step right and you'll forgive me for the next secret. Dairy doesn't belong in fried chicken. Grab your pitchforks and light your torches. I have completely denounced every fried chicken recipe that uses buttermilk with that statement. How could the secret to perfect fried chicken not use buttermilk? Are we even making fried chicken anymore? We're looking to achieve an earth-shattering crunch, right? We agree that's what we are after here? In order to do that, we want a lightly breaded crust and buttermilk will create a breading that is just too thick. Thinning it out won't be much help either. Dairy products contain lots of natural sugars that create a crust undesirable in taste when the sugars and milk solids overcook. Have you ever burnt milk before? Then hopefully you have forgiven me already. Buttermilk and milk have around 12 grams of sugar per serving. That's about 12 more grams of sugar than I want in my fried chicken crust anyways. We are making fried chicken. This isn't going to be anywhere near healthy. Keep anything green out of your seasonings. We don't want it here. Salt and pepper at the very least. A handful of spices like cayenne, white pepper, garlic powder or onion powder is okay here. But forget the dried herbs. You're not going to deep fry the chicken pieces long enough to soften and release the flavors of the dried herbs anyways. If there are dried herbs in your brine, maybe. That would be enough time to hydrate them and coax out their flavors. Honestly, I prefer the bouquet of traditional herbs like thyme, sage, rosemary in a roast chicken recipe over fried chicken. Here I want to only taste crust, crunch and chicken. Remember when we talked about a nice thin crust earlier? Great, cause we are going to go a bit more in depth. The secret to rendering the chicken skin just long enough to get it nice and crispy is a thin breading. A thick breading like the kind you get from a double dip into flour will guarantee you crunch. It will likely guarantee you will have soft, flabby chicken skin underneath as well. Not to mention, you'll have a crust that's too heavy and pulls away from the skin. Not ideal for what we're trying to achieve here. The secret to both dehydrating the crust and rendering the skin to an ethereal crunch is a light dredge. This will happen for you with a single dip into an egg wash thinned with water or hot sauce and straight into some well-seasoned flour. Throw a pinch of baking soda into your flour while you're at it. Once the baking soda-laced flour hits the hot oil, it will release carbon dioxide, creating micro bubbles on the surface of your chicken skin. Bubbles mean more surface area. More surface area means more of that addictive, salty crunch with every bite. Good fats and bad fats. Choose your fats wisely. We are looking for a high smoke point here. Peanut oil is my oil of choice at the restaurant. Other good high smoke point oil, rice bran oil, corn oil, or sunflower oil. A high smoke point means your oil won't break down quickly when exposed to high temperatures, which is common with deep frying. Stay away from olive oil, butter, lard or shortenings. These oils have low smoke points. They will mar your final product when they break down into off flavors after being exposed to high temperatures. They are also not quite neutral in taste enough either for deep frying chicken. Once you have the proper oil, grab your deepest, heavy bottom pot and let's start frying some chicken. If there are any numbers I'm going to ask you to remember. Fry your chicken at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until your dark meat registers at 165 degrees F and your white meat registers at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. An instant read thermometer is useful here, and if you're serious about your home cooking, you already own one. Timing will vary for each of you depending on the size of the chicken you bought at the beginning of the process. I recommend checking it around 12 minutes if you manage to snag a smaller bird and 14 minutes if you're working with pieces from a larger bird. Use a timer and stay close. Do not overcook it. Now is not the time to hop in the shower or get back to your binge-a-thon. As soon as it's done, drain it on a cooling rack to preserve your perfectly golden brown crust. Finally, your chicken is the perfect size. It's been lightly dredged. You fried it in a high smoke point oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It's registering the proper temperature. And it's on the cooling rack, ready to be enjoyed. Not yet, at least. For one thing, your fried chicken pieces will be too hot to enjoy at this point. Most importantly, all of those wonderful juices you worked so hard to keep intact need time to redistribute. Just like you've heard before when you made steaks, chops and roasts. Let your meat rest. 5–10 minutes is all the time you need. At this point, you should be greeted with a plate of fried chicken so intoxicating that your mouth feels like it sprung a leak just looking at it. One bite and you'll be rewarded with some of the best fried chicken you have ever prepared. Make sure you have a lot of napkins in hand. You'll need it for your fingers and your tears.